My mom's 60th birthday speech started with, "I have 2 sons, a surgeon, a lawyer, and one who still delivers pizza at 35. The room erupted. My brother added, "Remember when he said he'd be a businessman?" More laughter. My sister-in-law, "At least he finally stopped asking to crash on our couch." My own father, "Some kids just never grow up." Even my 16-year-old nephew smirked, "Uncle still living in grandma's basement?" My aunt chimed in, "Maybe next year he'll get a real job." I set down my glass. Nobody noticed me leave. 2 weeks later, everything changed. 6:03 a.m. Mom's text, "My card got declined for coffee WTF." 7:15 a.m. Brother, "Why is my mortgage showing unpaid? The house is in foreclosure." 8:47 a.m. Dad, "He truck is being repossessed. What's happening?" 10:22 a.m. Sister-in-law, "They froze our accounts. The kids' tuition." 11:38 a.m. Mom's voicemail, "Please pick up. The house. They say it's not ours. Where are you?" "You knew the payment was due, Ben." Mom's voice cracked over the kitchen table. "How could you just ignore it?" "Because it's not my job to clean up your mess," I said, leaning back in my chair. Dad slammed his palm down. "Don't start with that tone. We've carried you for years, and this is how you talk to us." "Carried me?" I almost laughed. "That's one way to put it." My brother Mark, in his pressed shirt and perfect hair, leaned forward. "Maybe if you had an actual career instead of delivery bags in your back seat, we wouldn't be here." The air was thick, the smell of burnt toast still lingering. Everyone was already shouting before I'd even had a chance to speak my side. The narrator. My name's Ben Keller. I'm 26. And for most of my life, I've been the madam. Afterthought until in my own family. The funny one at gatherings. The one they pitied in private and mocked in public. I learned to stay quiet because every word I said was ammunition for them. But today, I wasn't here to be quiet. The players. Delau. Mark, 32. Lawyer. Big house. Bigger ego. Hasn't spoken to me without sarcasm since I was 15. Dad, 61. Retired contractor. Thinks any man without a toolbox is half a man. Mom, 59. Retired school secretary. Keeps the peace, but only when it benefits her. Lisa, 34. My brother's wife. Smiles in your face, buries you in gossip later. Let's just be clear. I said, "You put my name on that loan without asking." We needed a co-signer. Mom said, "You weren't using your credit for anything important." "It's fraud," I said flatly. "Against your own kid." Mark snorted. "You're acting like you'd ever pay it back if it was yours." "It's not mine," I shot back. "But when you stopped paying, it became my problem." Lisa tilted her head, that polished smile barely covering the venom. "We all help each other in this family. That's what families do." "Families ask before they help themselves," I said, my voice steady, but my pulse pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. Dad leaned forward, the shadow of his frame stretching across the table like a threat. "You think you've sacrificed for us? You think you've done anything?" Something inside me snapped. "You have no idea what I've done. You have no idea what I've given up. You don't want to know." Mark smirked. "Go on then. Enlighten us." The air in the room thickened. Mom glanced at Dad, then back at me, as if she already knew she wouldn't like what was coming. When I was 19, I had dreams. Vague, clumsy ones, but mine. Film school, camera work, a chance to turn my obsession with telling stories into something real. Then Mom called one night. Her voice was breaking. "Your father can't work, Ben. The bills. The house. If we lose it." She didn't need to finish. I dropped out without telling anyone at school. Just stopped showing up. The professor sent emails I never answered. My roommate came back one day to find my bed empty and the walls bare. I worked nights at the warehouse, inhaling the sharp sting of dust and oil, days delivering pizzas, the smell of cheap mozzarella soaking into my clothes. I handed every paycheck to Mom. No questions, no receipts, no thanks. For almost 2 years. Then one day, the crisis was over, and I was just the one who couldn't handle school. That's how the story lived in their heads. My sacrifice was a deleted scene. I reached into my bag, fingers brushing the cold edge of the manila folder I'd carried for weeks, waiting for the right moment. I slid it across the table. Open it. Mark frowned, flipping the flap. His smirk faltered. What is this? Bank records, loan agreements, screenshots of messages you didn't think I saw, and proof of the account in Aunt Carol's name. Mom's face went white. Dad's knuckles clenched around his coffee mug until it creaked. Lisa's eyes darted toward her phone. I spoke to a lawyer. I continued. A real one, not the family-friendly, let's keep it quiet kind. The fraudulent loan? Voided. The account you thought was hidden? Frozen. This morning. Mark slammed the folder shut. You wouldn't. Already did, I said. Oh, and Aunt Carol. She's talking. Turns out hiding money under someone else's name isn't just bad manners. It's a crime. Mom's chair screeched against the tile. How could you do this to us? I didn't, I said. You did this to yourselves. Dad's hands shook so hard his coffee spilled, a dark stain bleeding across the tablecloth. Mark's jaw flexed, his eyes darting between me and the folder. Lisa grabbed her purse, muttering into her phone as she left, no doubt calling someone to contain the damage. You made me invisible, I said. Used my life like it was a spare wallet you could open any time. Well, now it's locked. Outside, the night air was sharp and clean, almost too clean after the staleness of that kitchen. My phone buzzed. A text from Mom. I'm sorry. We didn't think it would hurt you like this. For a second, I almost replied. Almost. But I knew what would happen. An apology now would be the same as it always was. A band-aid over a bullet wound. I kept walking, the streetlights pulling my shadow longer and longer in front of me. And for the first time in years, it felt like I was chasing something instead of running away. A week later, I packed up my things from Grandma's basement. The walls there had heard too many of my quiet defeats. I moved into a small studio with thin walls and a window that looked out over the city. My city now. The fallout in the family was messy. Mark took on grueling cases to stay afloat. Dad sold his beloved truck. Mom picked up part-time work at the library. And yet, for the first time, they stopped calling me for help. I went back to school, nights part-time, signing every form with my own name. My own future. I'm not ready to forgive them. Forgiveness is a door I'll open when I'm sure it won't slam shut on me again. But I've learned something. Bridges don't always burn in one big blaze. Sometimes they fall apart plank by plank, until you're standing on your own side and you realize you like it there. If you've ever been the quiet one in your family, the one they underestimated, tell me in the comments, what would you have done? Would you walk away, or would you fight back like I did? Don't forget to like this video if this story hits you, and subscribe for more real-life stories that hit right in the chest. And remember, sometimes the smallest voice can change everything.